many times have you heard that white people are privileged and they're all guilty of upholding white supremacy? That this or that is too white. Every single day. Well, things white people can't have because it's racist. A white or European student union. It makes national news. If we live in a country that supposedly celebrates whiteness, this wouldn't be an issue. A school that is majority white, although whites are still the majority. Loans, grants, scholarships, school admission, government-given startup funds, and mortgage assistance and other special perks just because we're white. Nope, if you check the box as white, you won't be put at the top of the list. In fact, you will be bumped to accommodate a person of color, even if your numbers are higher, even if you're more in need. Living in a clean, nice, white neighborhood. Very wrong. You need Section 8 housing immediately. Lots of white kids and a white husband. It screams far-right extremist, housewife, and white supremacist. Wanting the best for your children, for them to get ahead through your hard work. Very, very wrong. Everyone knows white people don't work and just cash in on their invisible knapsack of privilege.
White privilege unpacking the invisible knapsack.
We should be thinking of other people's children first. A dating website. It also makes national news. Can't have white people preferring and being attracted to only white people. But you can meet white people anywhere. But oh, we're glad you're becoming a minority. Meanwhile, J-date, black date, Latino date, Asian date.
Yeah.
One more time.
You get it.
I'm excited so far.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's about Evan. Oh, Evan.
Looks like a nice Jewish boy.
Evan's reform, I'm reform. I want to say yes to Evan.
Ben is a yes. Saying yes to Ben. Lucky you, Ben. It didn't even look into... Ben and I are a match! For me, this never gets old.
WhereWhitePeopleMeet.com. The billboard causing such offense, the city made them take it down. But it also encapsulated the controversy surrounding race and online dating.
You guys have been personally accused of being racist.
We're not racist.
And what do you hope that the website does?
But critics worry a site like this creates a forum for racial prejudice.
In the terms, it says you cannot do anything that what?
Promotes racism, bigotry, hatred, or physical harm of any kind against any group or individual.
So under that banner, declarations of affiliation with white supremacist groups, that would fall under that?
Absolutely.
Yes,
racism.
and/or some sort of a black extremist group.
What are we looking at here? Okay, so will you just delete that?
Yes.
Tell me about some of the things you've had to take down.
There's been a few profiles of people who just go in and make a fake profile of like people like a black face or picture of Adolf Hitler and people.
Alarming stuff.
Yep.
At 18, do you think you're prepared to do that?
Yeah. So I've always
This isn't about just business. It's also about a national conversation on racial discrimination.
It's so appalling because the first question I asked was, is this for real? The implication of where white people meet is that these poor white people are having trouble meeting, which is not true. The world is our oyster.
Emma Tessler is the founder of the matchmaking service The Dating Ring. She says the majority of her clients do have a racial preference. More often than not, it's white.
For whatever reason, people still feel like it's okay to say, I only want to date white people.
You get it. Finding our race to be the most beautiful, the beauty ideal. We have to praise all other people's first, otherwise it's Nazi to prefer blonde, blue, and fit. Also, a straight white masculine man and a feminine white gal is a form of right-wing extremism when they prefer each other. Speaking English and expecting others to speak it too, as well as proper grammar. White supremacist. A large business not enforcing diversity quotas. Oh, and diversity and inclusion doesn't mean hiring straight white men. Money and success. You didn't earn it. Your white privilege and the system built for whiteness did. Now give it all away to people of color. a classical European art canon in Europe. Europeans making art featuring Europeans is racist, sexist, colonialist, promoting European beauty ideals, and supremacist. Books, stories, and fairy tales that are just for us. We have a rich literary culture, but it's constantly being appropriated by diversity. Guess they don't have their own stories to tell. Movies and TV shows just for white people. Not anymore. There is no wet channel either, but there's a channel for everyone else, and they'll still have that even if they become a majority. But it's wrong when white people did it. But if you do portray whites on the big screen, it can't be too positive most of the time. Even 1930s haircuts, braids, and dreads can be racist because, white people throughout human history never had matted hair. Western philosophy. Yes, we should have been thinking about the philosophical mind of Chinese, Africans, and Indians, but they didn't have to think about us. Saying that Western civilization was built by Europeans, because duh, it was. No, it was built by people of color and you stole everything. You don't have a white, aka European culture, so it's not really cultural appropriation when we take it from you. History. Your entire history is racism and supremacy. That's all it is. Talking about your people's legacy in a positive light or defending it is wrong. And mentioning any ancient European finds that predate people of color is also supremacist in a far-right conspiracy theory. Holidays. They're all bad. I don't even have to explain. You're a pagan. There is no such thing as a European ancestral or folk tradition. It's made up and racist. Your pre-Christian ancestors were always diverse and inclusive, but other peoples can have their tribal faiths. Loving our heritage and ancestors. Can't do that because that leads to upholding whiteness, aka white people existing. We must constantly be critical of them and rebel against them in every way to destroy whiteness. Telling the true story that white people were also slaves, and they also ended slavery, a practice still ongoing in non-white countries today, thinking that we exist as a race. The white race doesn't exist, but all whites are racist. White lives matter. No white guilt. It's okay to be white. So disgusting.
The papers have headlines like "No White Guilty" or "White Lives Matter." People in other communities have also received similar messages recently.
A lot of people across the Wabash Valley are finding things like this in their yard, and there's a paper inside. This one specifically says "No White Guilt." Some other ones that we've seen had said "White Lives Matter," and many people are asking for something to be done. No white guilt.
Honestly, to me, it doesn't make sense why they would try to spread such hate.
The Clinton Police Department says that they are aware of this situation, and they say if this happens, to make sure to call your local police department.
Literally, everyone is a protected group except straight white people. Hate laws never include protecting whites because all whites are oppressors with mega power. Racial slurs against white people isn't a thing, and racism, violence against us is never an act of hate. In fact, protection from anti-white Europhobic racism is racist. A political interest or activist group. There's thousands of orgs dedicated to the staunch political interests of Jews, blacks, Asians, Latinos, every combo you can think of, just not one for white people. Unthinkable, even when you are a tiny oppressed minority. An anti-white watch group, one a European defamation league that receives millions of dollars to manufacture hate and get people banned online for pointing out patterns like the ADL or SPLC? Good luck. A safe space. Even though whites are a global minority, for them to have any space where it's just them to discuss their feelings, very dangerous. It might lead to slavery or a Holocaust. White people don't have feelings that matter anyway. Requesting a white doctor as a white person is a no-go zone, but totally cool when people of color request someone like them, who they feel more comfortable with. An environmental movement because it's too white. In fact, you breathing air, your very existence is pollution and racism. Borders, a strict immigration policy, and a country that is for Europeans. Despicable, just not when Israel, Saudi Arabia, or any other people do or have it. Okay, so we'll go back to Europe. Oh wait, Europe for Europeans is racist because Europe has always been a melting pot for the world to come do whatever they want in. And you pretty much can't have a conversation with a woke, non-white person without it being racist for some ridiculous reason. Just asking someone, where are you from, is racist. You're damned if you talk about race and damned if you don't. As a white, non-self-hating person, you can't have a platform to fight anti-white lies and propaganda because you will be banned by Silicon Valley, major corporations, banks, services, and put on a terrorist list by the feds. You know what else white people can't have or say because it's racist? The truth. Well, speaking of the truth, we've been banned from all the big platforms for speaking it. And it's why we need your help. Share our links, continue your membership, make a donation. We've clearly hit a big nerve because we are right. Help us soldier on and weather the storm until the tide changes, because it always does. Much love to you all.